have you noticed, on buses and trains and planes, particularly on planes, after you've eaten what they've got to they give you to eat, you've read what you read, you watched the movie, what does everybody do? They fall asleep, because most people's minds are dependent on external stimuli. That's the way they stay awake. No stimuli, they fall asleep. So this inevitably is a problem when you meditate, when your meditation object is not incredibly exciting, and it's intentionally unexciting. So what happens is your mind shifts between two modes, that of agitation and sleepiness. You finally get through all the agitation, you see finally, now you're getting somewhere, and you get dull and drowsy and maybe fall asleep. And again, normal, almost everybody goes through this at some time or other. The people who sit really straight and don't seem to have any problem with sleepiness are usually the ones that are thinking a lot, rather than they're particularly peaceful. And so what do? Well, one thing is you don't panic, you don't get depressed, you don't think that you're hopeless. You think, yeah, well, this is the way the mind is, it's like this. We never built up that kind of strength to be alert, bright and awake in the present moment without external stimuli. Now's the time to learn. Now, one of the practical bits of advice I would give you is that before we become really sleepy and dull, except we're nodding or the situation gets really out of hand, there are some more subtle signs. And so if you're really sensitive to what's going on in your body and in your mind, moment by moment, then you can nip it in the bud. So just as before the rain comes down, then it gets cloudy and there's a bit of a breeze whips up, and you know from experience that it's probably going to rain, time to get in your washing. So similarly, you begin to get these signs of a little bit of heaviness of the body, dullness, a little bit of boredom, certain signs that tell you now is the time to beware of drowsiness and dullness. If it's something that comes up a lot, then tell yourself at the beginning, just talk to yourself a little bit at the beginning of meditations. If you have particular problems like sleepiness, you say, watch out for that one. This is the time of day, or this is something that's probably going to come up in this meditation session. And just priming your mind like that can often work as a prophylactic and can prevent it arising so easily, or helps you to become aware of it much more quickly. Another method is to use the perception of light. So as you breathe in, you breathe out. Breathe in your whole body. Don't breathe with concentration and attention on one particular spot, say at the tip of your nose, but feel the breath in your whole body, every part of your body is filled with light. You breathe in and your whole body filled with light. You breathe out and light is spreading out through every part of your body. So you're directly countering the dullness and the darkness and the heaviness and the sloth and torpor with the perception of light. One other technique that you may use is to leave the breath altogether and to adopt a meditation technique which uses discursive thought. The metta meditation can be very good for this purpose, in that it can bring up some very strong positive feelings very quickly. But one in which you give the mind something to do, you give it some work. You say, okay, if you're dull, you're bored, you want something a little bit more interesting, okay, I'll give it to you, but it's got to be something that lies within the sphere of meditative contemplation. So these are just a few short recommendations for dealing with sleepiness.